because I'm changing the caliper and the pads and everything, I don't have to take this apart. So I'm gonna just take the line off over here, which is a 11 millimeter. Crack this loose, and I'm gonna put a pair of vice grips on it so I don't let any air into the system. And I'm not crushing this thing up, I'm just giving a little squish to it, and then get this to crack loose. I'm just going to take this right off.
So if you weren't changing the rear brake caliper, those two bolts, Steve will point them out to you, you would loosen those up,
Yeah,
right, Steve?
this one here and this one here. We would slide the caliper back and we would collapse the piston. But we're changing it so we don't have to take it apart on this one. So I've got a 17 millimeter crack loose on the inside here. And I'll just put my little cheater gear wrench on here to help me. Just crack this loose, and then we'll gear wrench these off. Put one up here. So it saves us a step because we're changing the caliper. We don't have to take we don't have to take the caliper off, and so technically we're unbolting the brake bar right now, and that's all we're really going to have to do, get the brake bar off, and the whole assembly will come off like that. And we bought an inexpensive set of brake pads so we could buy some time, so we ordered all this stuff online, and you know, can't be driving around on iron, so we just pad slapped it to get some time. And we had the holidays recently, so just unbolting this. Now we've been in here before. We've got never sees on this. Let's just slide the caliper right off. The rotor, we have taken our impact driver, we put it on. I've already I went all around and did all the wheels already. But you know, you just hammer it, you're holding it to crack loose, you smack it, and then it cracks loose. So I cracked all of these loose already as well. Okay, the shoes look fantastic. So our self-adjuster is down here. So we're gonna clean our new rotor, never sees like we always do. And then we're gonna put the rotor on and make sure it has drag going on, and we'll adjust the self-adjuster from here. There's really no way to, yeah, there's no hole in the back here, so, and on the new rotors you'll see there is no hole to really get in there and adjust. You have this hole right here for this plug, but I usually just adjust them up and then I get it to slide on. So we'll never seize this, and we'll get our rotor clean and we'll slip it on and adjust it. So we're going to clean off our rotor. They always have like an oily slash when you take them out of the bag for storage purposes. That's why after you get them on and you're driving the car for a day, sometimes you can smell a little bit of it burning off. We've got to do the inside here because we've got our emergency brake shoes running in here. Make sure this is all wiped down. Okay, so we're going to go over and try and slip this on the brake shoe. So we've got the hole to line up for the stud that we took out, and it's going to be this one here. So temporarily just putting this on. See how loose it goes on? That means I got to adjust my shoes. And I can adjust it, you know, through this little hole. And maybe just go that route to show you guys. I'll get the light and a little screwdriver.
So you can see the adjuster right in there.
If you look inside, we can see the teeth on the self-adjuster right there.
Yep.
And we're gonna go in with the screwdriver. And I'm just gonna crank it until we get this thing to tighten up. It just got a spring under it. It doesn't really have like a lever that's, you have to push on it, so it's easy to adjust these up. Now, do I know if I'm going the right way? No, I don't know. But if I'm going 6 or 7 turns and it's still as loose as it is, I gotta think I'm going the wrong way. So I'm gonna try and go the other way. Okay, now it's tightening them up. I can feel it.
There you go.
So I'm gonna tighten this thing up until it stops moving. And then I'm gonna back it off. Okay, so I can't move this right now. So now, you know, I've been going like this, so I'm gonna go the opposite way. 1, 2, 3. And I've got some drag. And, you know, if I wanna go 1 tooth tighter, you know, you can go 1 tooth tighter, but I usually tighten it up so that I can't move it anymore. I can't move it. And then you back it off, you know, 1 to 3 turns. You know, three turns is not going to hurt you. Now, I got it lined up so I can put my drum on. So now when I pull up on my emergency brake or step on the pedal, there's not a lot of travel because it's adjusted properly. And every time you put a new rotor on and you use your existing shoes or new shoes, you should adjust that up. It didn't take us long at all. So we're going to put some never sees on the bolt and put this back in right now. After I'm done, before I put the wheels on, I'll go around each wheel and I'll just give it a little tap to make sure they're tight. So we've got our rotor set up now. We've got our line pinched off. We've got to make sure that we get our other copper washer off. Make sure this is clean. So we're going to go over and set up our caliper right now. We'll come back, we'll wipe this down to make sure this is clean. And we'll put our caliper bracket together and then we'll put the caliper on. With the new caliper, I'm going to roll the plug out of it, get that out. Okay, and then they gave me some new clips and they gave me the seal washers and the bolt for the caliper. So I'll put one on now, keep the other one aside. I got a 12 millimeter to take this bracket off here. So even though this stuff has been lubed, you know, we still lube it up. You know, I don't necessarily trust that everything seems to be a bare minimum that they give you now. So, and I'm not knocking the manufacturer, but you know, I'd rather put a little more lubrication in it. And we use a synthetic grease, so it's a little more heat tempt. So we pull these out, and you know, there ain't a lot on there, you know, so take our lube. I usually like to get a little bit filled into the boot so that when I'm pushing the pin in, it pushes some of this grease down into the boot and it'll just expand the boot. Same thing with this side. Throw that down there. Okay. Let's get our clips on. So each have a side. Okay, get this one on now. Okay, I got a little excess grease here. Put it on here. Alright, so we've got our brake pads here. This one goes on the inside, like this. Try not to get any grease on the pad if you can. Okay. Alright, so we gotta put some caliper pin lube on the boot. You know, I just want to keep this all moist. I put a little on the back side here where it touches the brake shoes. And then we're gonna put some never sees on these, and we're ready for reassembly. Let's get this and this brought over, and then we'll put this on right now. Okay, we've got a caliper bracket that's gonna go on, like so. Squeeze my pads on. We've still got never sees on our pins, on our bolts, pardon me. So we're good with that. These are the 17s. Get these started, and then we're going to gear wrench them down, snug them up good. Caliper, it's all greased up. Cute little thing, isn't it? So we're gonna slip this on. Push our boots in a little bit, our pins in. Got our never sees. Easier to put this on before I put the line on, because the line's kind of in your way. Get that one started. This one started. These are all 11s, 12s. Got the gear wrench out here because, you know, if you weren't changing these calipers, this line would be on and it would be tight. So you're not going to get a ratchet in the socket in there. You're going to have to use a wrench to take this off. And you do have enough room to get the bolt out, you know, if you're not changing the caliper. It's tight. It's tight. sure this was clean on both sides. So you can do your inspection, make sure it's clean. It's clean. So slide the bolt in there.
And you got a copper washer on both ends.
Yep. And it's got a lineup mark in here. So goes in there, and then the line falls into this space in here. So you can't really screw it up. And you're just gonna snug this up. These are 11s. And changing the 12s on there or no? Yeah, they did. The original ones were 11s, and now these are 12s. Good. Just snugging that up. I can take my line off here. So we've got our 17s tight. We've got our 2 bolts over here tight. We've got our line tight. We took the vice grips off, so now the fluid can go. So when we bleed the brakes, we'll get fluid out. So now some people crack the line loose and they let it gravity bleed a little bit, and that'll save you a little bit on bleeding time. But you know, once you pump it up and you open the valve, you're going to force the air out. It's just on what your preference is. Some people let it gravity bleed, then they close, and then they bleed at the end. So we're doing a 4-wheel brake job. We're going to come back and bleed all at one time. Pop it up.
So what we're doing right here is we're bleeding the rear brakes. You start with the furthest brake, and that would be the passenger side rear. We did the rear calipers, so we got to bleed the air out of them.
Pop it up.
So what we're doing right now is we have somebody in the truck pumping up the brakes,
Pop it up.
and then you stand on the brake pedal once it's hard. And this is how you get all the air out of the line.
All right, let off, Joe. And then after we're done at the end, we're going to dry everything down. We're going to have him start it, and we're going to step on it. We're going to put the mirror underneath where we changed the caliper hose here. I mean, we changed the caliper, so we reattached the hose. So we're just going to put a mirror down here, make sure we got no leaks.
Yep. So now we'll go to the inside. We'll show you what Joe's doing while Steve's talking. We're going to the other brake caliper because we replaced that one as well. We got to bleed the air out of the driver's side in the back now.
Good.
Hold it.
Up and up. Good.
And the truck should be off while you're doing this.
Up and up. Good. Up and up. Good. You can see our caliper and bolt. You stepping on the brake, we've got no leak. So we've got no leak. Just step on the brake.
Yes, hold it.
Okay, so that's good. We got no leaks.
And we're gonna check the other side.
Yep. So this procedure is going to be the same on the other side, and we changed the caliper because of the amount of mileage on the vehicle. It's over 100,000. The customer plans on keeping the thing for a long time, so you know it's a good idea. And Tony got the calipers online; they're very reasonable, so it's worth throwing it together.